I'm back. I went to sleep last night watching this. I watched the Stranger Things finale. It was phenomenal. Really, really great job. I'm excited for all the spin-offs. But what I came on here really to talk to you guys about is what happened. I woke up at like 4:30 in the morning in like a panic, and I can't stop thinking about the Crans Montana Swiss ski resort fire and how scary it must have been to try to get out of that building, especially if you're one of the people that was on fire. And a lot of people were trampled and they were trying to go through this one exit. There had to have been more than just one exit to get out of that place. As a burn survivor, I don't know if this is part of my PTSD, but I always find out where my exits are. Doesn't matter where I am, I'm always like checking to see where the exits are of any place I'm in, just because if there was a fire, if there was a shooter, if there was anything crazy, I know where to go. I know where my, like, I just memorize it every single time. It doesn't matter where I go. So just let that be a lesson. Know where your exits are at all times. Also, like, if you, another thing I wanted to address besides knowing where your exits are, if you know someone who's died in a fire accident, or one of the loved ones, you have a loved one or somebody that you cared about that died in that fire at the Swiss resort, just know that when they were burning to death, they were probably in a state of shock. It wasn't that they were being tortured to death, even though it looks like they were being tortured to death, but your body goes into a state of shock. You stop feeling the pain after a certain point. It's terrifying and it's sad. I know when I was in a fire accident and I was on fire, I was in a state of shock. It didn't hurt me until afterwards when I got out of it. It didn't hurt me while I was on fire. So just know that if there's any consolation, just know that they're not in horrific pain. They were more in a state of shock, and then your body goes into like, you just kind of let go and let God, honestly. Whenever I hear about stuff like that, it brings me back to my accident. I start feeling the pain, literally feeling the pain of what other people who were in there, what they went through, the survivors and the deceased, like what they went through, the last moments in life. It is so insanely wild to think that they had just celebrated going into the new year and then this happened because stupid sparklers allegedly were on champagne bottles and hit the ceiling. That's so terrifying that you're like having the time of your life and then all of a sudden that happens and tragedy ensues and you're, anyway, I don't know. Anyway, I just wanted to talk about that because it woke me up at 4:30 in the morning, and I feel the pain of anybody who's thinking about it as well and who's gone through it and who's dealing with it. There's a lot of people whose lives are going to change because now they are burned all over their body. They're injured terribly. The psychological effects are real. I do still suffer from PTSD, even though I don't think I do. It wasn't until much later in my life when I realized I definitely do. And that's why I always check the exits of anywhere I am. I always check the exits. And there are other things. But, so, those are just my 2 cents. Just know that someone who's in pain, they're in a state of shock. They're not being tortured to death, even though it looks like it. At one point, you do end up seeing a white light. It's like the most peaceful, common feeling in the world to see that white light. I was ready to go. I was so excited to go. I was like, this is like the most incredible, peaceful feeling you'll ever have in your life. And God didn't want me, so they threw me back on earth, and here I am just doing TikToks.